Good evening and welcome to the final class of our yoga asana series. Tonight we are focusing on our hips and shoulders. So let's go ahead and get started by lying down on our back, supine position, and go ahead and come into a nice, easy, restful shavasana pose, corpse pose, and just give yourself a moment to settle into your body, settling in on the mat. Very good. And let's go ahead and start to really feel our body relaxing. Relax the face. Let the arms and rib cage and hips and legs be nice and heavy on the mat. You can keep your arms, hands next to your hips, or if it feels better, let's take our palms face down on our low belly, fingertips pointing down, tips of thumbs and index fingers touching, called Trimurti Mudra. And let's go ahead and together really energize all of the tissues in our body, oxygenate our blood by taking 3 really deep breaths together. So let's begin by exhaling out everything you have out of your mouth right now. Seal the lips. Inhale through the nose, filling up the low belly, low back. Rib cage expands, entire torso expands, filling up all the way to the collarbones. Exhale out of your nose, pressing the air out the same way it came in. Collarbones, rib cage relaxes, low back, low belly sinks down. Inhale through the nose, deep belly breath, filling up the torso, expanding like a barrel. Exhale evenly, calmly, steadily through the nose, pressing the old air out. Inhale, trying to move the very tips of our fingers so low in the belly, filling up our whole torso, sipping in more oxygen. Exhaling out of the nose, calmly, steadily, feeling our body sink down to the mat. Beautiful. Let your breath return to normal. Let your body sort of sink down again. Hands come back to our sides, hips, and gently blink your eyes open. On an exhale, if our low back is sort of kinked away from the mat, gently start to draw your low back towards the mat by tilting your pelvis. And let's take our right knee, bend the right knee into the body. Very good. Maybe just give yourself a little bit of a hug over that shin, pressing the shin into the thigh like it might just disappear into the thigh, giving ourselves the tiniest bit of compression. Take a deep inhale, tuck the chin to the chest. Very good. As we exhale, elongate the arms in opposite directions into a T. And let's drape that right knee across our body over to the left for a hip stretcher, spine twist, maybe turning our head to look to the right. Keep that right shoulder blade down. Both shoulders stay square on the mat. Right leg can relax, maybe even lengthen the right leg. If it feels good, take a deep breath. Just feeling this in our body. And on an inhale, let's roll back to center. Very good. Exhale, press your low back and shoulders down, switch the legs. Left knee bends in, right leg relaxes completely on the ground. Maybe we start by giving ourselves a bit of a hug over the left shin sinking into the back of the left thigh, slight compression, pinch of the left hip. So good. Exhale, relax the arms out to the side, broad chest, drape that left knee across the body, over to the right. Hip stretcher, spine twist. Keep both shoulders down on the mat. Maybe turn your eyesight, your gaze to the left side of the room. See something On the floor, maybe the baseboard, whatever it is, acknowledge it. Maybe even lengthen the left leg, pressing the left heel away. Let's roll back to center on an inhale. Very good. As you exhale, low back sinks to mat. We bring that right knee up. Let's give ourselves a hug over our shins. Oh yeah, maybe tucking our forehead towards our kneecaps, stretching the back of the neck, cervical spine. And let's relax on an exhale into wind removing pose, starting to flatten our spine towards the mat, shoulders heavy, chin tucks to the chest, lengthening our spine in both directions. Take one deep breath here. Puff up your chest with air in this constricting position. Exhale, release the legs. Feet sink down to the mat. Very good. Figure 4 position. Left foot stays down, right foot lifts off the mat. We're going to turn and open the right thigh to the right side of the room. And before we hook the right foot on the left thigh, we really want to take your right hand and just gently ease your right thigh open, really making sure it's as open as possible here. Take a deep breath. Maybe we stay here if we feel any tension in our hips, or maybe we lift the left foot off the mat, drawing the left thigh into the chest while the right thigh opens out to the right, figure 4. Maybe we interlace our fingers behind our left thigh and gently ease that thigh closer to our belly. Keep the back of the head down. Ease your right thigh, hip open gently in figure 4 position, stretching the outer right thigh as well. This class is about hips and shoulders today. Ooh, we hold a lot of tension, a lot of worry in these 2 areas of our body. So let's see if we can use this class, use our breath. Just let those things go. Keep your eyes open, gaze towards your right foot where it meets your left knee. Take a deep breath. Broad collarbones, broad across the throat. As we exhale, let the left foot sink back down. Oh yeah, switch the legs. Coming to figure 4, opposite side, we lift the left foot, hook that left foot on the right thigh, and then we ease that left thigh open. We can even use our left hand to gently open across the pelvis, circling that knee over to the left. All right, maybe we stay here. Maybe we lift that right foot off the mat, drawing the thigh, right knee into the belly, like our right knee is aiming towards our throat. Go ahead and interlace fingers behind the thigh if you like. Keep the left thigh circling open. Left shin stays parallel to the ground. Keep the back of the head and shoulders down and feel the stretch. The outside of the left hip. Maybe on the inside of the left thigh, inner thigh, maybe even noticing the stretch all the way around the entire hip area, even maybe on the inside bottom of the groin. Let the whole hip open. Take a deep breath. See if you can feel your left hip expanding along with your lungs. Very good. Take another inhale, puff up your chest with air, broad collarbones, shoulder blades heavy on the mat. Exhale, ooh, release, sink that right foot down, left foot unhooks. Once it feels good, let's take those knees, sink them back into the belly, hands to the back of the thighs. If it seems like a good idea, let's start to rock and roll up and down our spine. We can always skip this step, but let's rock and roll a few times, everyone meeting in seated position. As efficiently as possible, find your seat, proper position, legs heavy, solid on the ground. And let's find a neutral pelvis. Now, there's a lot of ways we can find neutral pelvis, but for the sake of efficiency, if we imagine that we still had a tail connected to our tailbone, like if we missed the evolutionary cycle and we still had it, We don't want to sit on our tail. We don't want to sit super far forward, but if you imagine your tailbone, we very often sit like this. Don't sit on your tail. From this neutral pelvis, think about your spine naturally lifting up out of those hips. Notice the natural undulations, curves of the spine, and reach the crown of your head, top of your head, high to the ceiling. Very good. Hands may be relaxed on the lap or on the thighs. Take a deep inhale. Eyes can stay closed or be open, but start to roll your shoulders forward. As you exhale, roll your shoulder blades down and back, like we're making this very rudimentary drawing of a boat with our shoulders. Inhale, shoulders draw down and forward. Exhale, shoulders draw down and back. Do 2 more, your breath cycle, your pace. Inhaling to take the shoulders forward. Everyone just noticing their shoulder girdle. Everyone's body's a little different, especially in the shoulder area. So we're just warming up this area while not really pressing too hard in any sort of direction. On your next inhale, I'll turn to face you. Let's sit up nice and tall. Reach the arms out to the side. And now start to reach them to the left and right, almost like we're pressing our wrists away from each other. In fact, let's actually press the heel of our palms away and our fingertips up. Lift the heart. Feel the stretch in the elbows, forearms, armpits. Take another breath. Identify your right hand. Take that right elbow, tuck it into the left elbow. Wrap up your forearms for eagle arms. If this is not available, grab for opposite shoulders. Everybody take a deep breath and ease those elbows gently away from the heart. As we inhale, let's think about sitting away from our tailbone, arching our back away from the floor and looking up to the ceiling. Lift up. As you exhale, contract. Think about tucking your tail between your legs. Look towards your sternum. Inhale, lift. Exhale, contract. Inhale, lift. Exhale, my favorite, contract. Should feel pretty good. As you inhale, reach those arms out to the side, left and right. Oh, lift the heart, maybe even stretch the elbows. Find your left hand, tuck that left elbow into the right elbow, wrap up forearms, or maybe grab for opposite shoulders, eagle arms. Before we begin, think about easing those elbows away from the heart. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale and lift. Low back tucks away from the mat. Gaze towards the ceiling. Exhale, contract, like we're tucking our tail between our legs. Gaze towards our chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, contract. Intense stretching back of the neck and shoulders. One more, your pace, your breath. Exhale to contract. Very good. Inhale, take a moment, just find relaxed lotus position. Sit up nice and tall once again, as efficiently as possible, and just notice the feeling in your body. See what's changed from when we started. Take one deep inhale and exhale through your nose, completely relaxing the face. Very good. Let's go ahead and let our hands come behind us, resting on the floor. I'll turn to the side. Coming to seated figure 4. Uncross the leg, feet on the mat, knees point up. We can adjust our hips as necessary. Maybe our feet come a little wider, maybe a little closer. But let's lean back into our hands so we can lift that right foot. Hook it on the left thigh. Now, a lot of weird feelings can happen just by that motion. So to make sure we're getting the right stretch, before we do anything else, we want to gently ease That right knee, right thigh over to the right as much as possible, as much as feels safe and good, but we're finding our edge. All right shin is parallel to the floor. From here, we can tent our fingertips. Think about lengthening our spine. Our whole torso from our tail to our head becomes this straight piece of wood, like a board of wood. As we exhale, we can use our hands to gently, evenly ease our torso, chest, hips, throat, belly towards our right shin. Every time you inhale, think about lengthening the torso, gaze straight in front of you. Every time you exhale, think about easing your heart a little closer to the center of that right shin. Maybe even drop the gaze to the mat right in front of you, just to keep focus on where we want to head. Opening through the hip. One more inhale. As you exhale, lean a little bit back. Let's switch the legs. Right foot down, left foot up. I'm gonna hook that left foot on my outer right thigh, and right away I'm going to ease my left thigh open. I'm not really pressing on the knee joint. I'm thinking about opening through the hip socket, easing that inner thigh to the left side of my mat. From there, I can press into my fingertips. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Gaze where you want your body to go. And as you exhale, gently ease your torso in that direction. Deep stretch in the left hip. Take a look at that right thigh. Make sure it's not easing out to the right. Keep it nice and even in line with the right hip so we can safely, purposefully open up that left hip socket. Really getting into that meat of the left hip, letting it open up, letting it release, feeling into it, not ignoring these intense sensations, really drawing our attention there, breathing there, maybe trying to puff up the left hip with air this time. Take one more breath. Exhale, lean a little bit back first, release the legs. Woo, let them go. Maybe lengthen the legs. Maybe give them, let's put our hands on top of our thighs. Give them a little bit of a shake. Shake that out. Let it go. This is also very good for circulation. Woo! All right. We're going to be meeting in standing, believe it or not. So however your favorite way to get there is, I'll show you one way. Let's go ahead and cross the legs. Plant your hands on the mat. Roll forward over your shins and come to kneeling. We plant our fingers, hands down on the mat, and we tuck our toes. Take an inhale to lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, lengthen the legs to downward facing dog. Ooh, very good. As you take your next exhale, we shift our weight forward and walk our feet towards our hands, towards the front of our mat. Very good. I said we're meeting in standing, but we're actually going to hang out here in forward fold for just a little bit. Let's find a rag doll. Just let your whole body hang over your thighs, shins. Keep your eyes open and take hands to opposite elbows. From here, really press your feet down and think about the back of your neck relaxing. We can shake our head, yes, no, maybe so. Take a really deep breath. Think about filling up the back of your rib cage with air. Exhale, sigh it out of your mouth audibly. Very good. Let's take a deep bend in the knees and roll all the way up the spine to standing at the front center of our mats. Very good. Let's heel toe our feet or step our feet wide apart, about the width of our mat. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Go ahead and inhale, lift the heart, puff up the chest, bend your knees. And as you exhale, forward fold, reach your fists to the ceiling. Maybe we even let gravity take a hold of our fists and open them back down towards the ground behind us. Wide-footed forward fold. We can start to lengthen our legs, or we can keep bent knees here, but keep your eyes open. Allow your shoulders to open and allow your breathing to stay steady. Find something on the wall to focus at, maybe something close to the ground by your heels. Take a deep inhale, puff up the chest. Exhale, release your hands all the way to the mat. Very good. Enough to put some weight into our hands. Let's heel to our feet to hip width apart. Hip width apart is about 2 fist widths apart. And then take our feet parallel from the inside arches. Press your feet down, maybe bend the knees. Take a deep inhale, puff up the chest, halfway lift. Very good. We stay here. Think about pushing your heart forward. Tail, think about whatever tail we have, again, pointing straight out behind us. Maybe we press our hands into our thighs, maybe our shins. Keep breathing here. Keep the sides of your neck long. Think about having a completely flat back. Think about stacking your hips over your ankles, making a perfect upside down letter L. But you know what? It's okay if it's not perfect. Everyone's handwriting is different. So maybe our knees are bent. Maybe our heart's a little lower than our hips. Maybe our heart's a little higher. Find your forward fold. Stare straight at the ground in front of you. Take a deep breath. Exhale, ragdoll over your legs. It's okay to bend the knees, whatever feels good, but reach for opposite elbows and just let your body go completely. Reaching for opposite elbows. Biceps by the ears, back of the neck goes. We can shake our head, yes, no, maybe so. Feet press down. From here, we move to sunflower. Hang on to the elbows, keep hanging on there, press your feet down. As you inhale, we move. Reach your elbows over to the right. And now reach your elbows out to the right and up to the ceiling, standing all the way up like a sunflower following the sun, apex of the inhale. As you exhale, let's take that over to the left. Dive the body over to the left and down, back to center. Switch directions. Press your feet down. Inhale, lift your elbows over to the left, reaching for the sun all the way up to standing. Exhale, dive the body to the right, hanging onto those elbows, coming all the way back down. Settle in. Beautiful. Release the hands. Take an inhale, puff up that chest with air. As you exhale, right hand plants under the face. Sweep the left hand to the ceiling, maybe bend into the right knee. Ooh, twist in our forward fold. Should feel really good. Hang out here for a minute. Deep stretch down the back of the left leg. So good for getting into the back of the hamstring. Maybe we even turn our eyesight past our left thumb. Take another breath. Exhale, switch. Left hand comes down, replaces the right under our face. Reach the right fingertips to the ceiling. Maybe bend the left knee. Oh yeah, deep stretch down the whole right hamstring. Keep that right foot active on the ground. Don't roll all the weight to the outside of the right foot. Both edges of the foot equally pressing down. Take a deep breath. Broaden across the collarbones. Feel the stretching in the body. We lower down on an exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press the feet down, find that halfway lift, reach the heart forward. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, bend the knees. Let's sweep those arms out to the side and up. Reverse swan dive all the way to standing. Exhale, hands come through heart center. We find mountain pose. All right, mountain pose. Feet can stay about hip width apart or take them a little closer together. But go ahead and sink those heels down. Inner thighs gently pull together. Tail points straight at the ground. Heart gently lifts, Crown of the head reaches up. Take an inhale, reach those hands towards the sky. Dive your hands up. And with your right fingertips, I'm going to turn so you can see me. Right fingertips, grab your left wrist. Press your heels down, lengthen your spine in both directions, tip of the tail to the top of the head. Inhale, grow it taller. Exhale, dive your body to the right. Crescent moon, deep side body bending on the whole left side of the body, growing long and tall before curving over to the right. Both sides of the body are long. We're not crunching the right side of the body. Right side of the body grows too. Keep breathing. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale, maybe bend a little more, even just in our head. We come back to center on an inhale. Reach the hands high, switch the grip. Left hand reaches for right wrists, grow long. Exhale, dive the body over to the left. Crescent moon on the left side, stretching the whole right side of the body. Press the feet down. Ease the hips to the right, right rib cage opening, fingertips pointing up and to the left. One more deep breath, open, broaden across the heart. Stay for the exhale, maybe come down a little more. Inhale back to center. Exhale, hands to heart center. Hands at your side. Inhale, sweep the hands back to the ceiling. Exhale, bend the elbows down just halfway. Lift the heart, half angel. Take a slight back bend. Very good. Inhale, reach the arms all the way tall for a sun salutation A. We'll meet in cobra. Exhale, forward fold. Swan dive all the way down. Chest meets the thighs. Inhale, let's lift up halfway. You know what to do now. Exhale, we fold. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Find your plank, stepping or floating back. We'll hold for one inhale in our plank, spine long, tailbone towards the heels. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga, but let's come all the way to our bellies. Very good. Nice, long, slow cobra here. We're going to lengthen our legs behind us, squeeze the sides of our feet together. Inner thighs sink together, and the whole face front of our pelvis presses down into the mat. Hands are down by our shoulders. From here, with that pelvis pressed down, take a deep inhale and think about lengthening your spine out of your low back. Only use your low back muscles. From here, we can even hover our hands off the mat. We're not using our hands at all. Maybe lengthen your spine forward, or continue on by peeling your heart off the mat, keeping that spine long first, using only back muscles. Keep your gaze low, maybe about 2 or 3 feet in front of you for cobra pose. As you inhale, think about puffing up your chest, sides of the neck long like a cobra hood opening. Exhale, keep easing that heart forward, glutes stay engaged. One more breath in our cobra. Exhale, press into those hands, press yourself up, find yourself in downward facing dog. Any way you like to get there. Take a moment, either find stillness immediately or take some time to warm up in our dog. If we need a little bit of a aid to get there, we're just going to press into our hands, tuck our toes and lift our hips nice and high. Everybody, spread your fingertips nice and wide. Lift your hips as high as you can. On an inhale, lift your right heel off the mat for a 3-legged dog. Exhale, step your right foot forward, but not as far as you might normally go. Maybe about 2/3 of that distance, about 3 feet or so. And let's circle that left heel down, standing up in our warrior 1. So feet are pointing towards the front of the mat, back left foot is at a 45-degree angle. Bend the right knee. We don't need a huge stance in this warrior 1, especially for the calf stretch we want to get. And let's really troubleshoot this pose. Let's inhale, reach the hands straight up to the ceiling. Gaze forward. As you exhale, bend into that right knee and let the hips sink down. Inhale, square the hips and shoulders towards the front of your mat. Exhale, just let those hips sink, moving the stretch into the back of the left calf. Breathing here, finding a point on the wall in front of you. Let's focus on it. Take another breath. Feel the stretch in the back of the left leg. Good. Release your hands behind you. Interlace your fingers. Inhale, lift the heart. Press your feet down. As you exhale, bow to the inside of the right thigh for humble warrior. Fists reach up to the ceiling, or maybe let gravity take them to open up the shoulders. To keep your balance in humble warrior, find a spot on the ground to focus on. Now press your feet down. Keep that bend in the front right knee. Again, find that focus with your eyesight, something on the mat. Press your feet down. Try to take an inhale, puff up the chest. Exhale, bow a little deeper. Very good. Very gently release the hands. Just let them sink down to the mat. Hands frame the front right foot. We over the front foot. On an exhale, come to pyramid pose. We aim to lengthen the back of the right leg, drawing the right hip back, left hip forward. Spread those right toes nice and wide. Keep that whole right foot on the mat. It's an intense stretch. Remember to breathe. It's okay if our right knee isn't actually long. We're just lengthening it. Right hip eases back, left hip eases forward, getting both hips in one line, maybe even bending the elbows towards the back of our mat to bow over our right shin. Very deep, intense pose. Always intense, I think. So remember to breathe. One more deep breath. So good. Let's start to walk our hands, stay low, start to walk your hands to the left side of the mat, turning to face the long left side of the mat. Pivot your feet. So we're in a forward fold, wide-legged forward fold. We're going to point our toes to the long side of our mat. So feet are about parallel, maybe even kick the heels out to the sides a little bit, whatever feels good. But go ahead and settle in. Just relax, ragdoll the body down. Reach for opposite elbows. Press the feet down evenly and just let your upper body hang. Keep your eyes open. Maybe we have to adjust the feet, that's fine, but we're going to stay here for a few breaths. So find a spot on the wall behind you, about in line with your knees. Stay focused on it. Press your feet down. Think about your booty lifting towards the ceiling. Let the back of your neck be totally relaxed. Very good. On an inhale, think about puffing up your chest with air. Exhale, release the hands to the mat. Walk them back to frame the front right foot. Press your hands down and find yourself back in downward facing dog, coming back any way you like. Inhale, press into your hands, lift your hips nice and high. Let's lift that left heel off the ground, three-legged dog. Exhale, step that left foot forward. Again, not super far, maybe about 3 feet or so. Circle that right heel down, and let's stand up in warrior one, opposite side. Find your footing first. Lift your arms to the ceiling, biceps frame the ears. Fingers, hands reach up so we can settle our hips down nice and heavy, squaring the hips to the front of the mat, keeping that right foot down so we're stretching the right calf muscle. Keep reaching those arms up, almost like we're pulling our wrists up, almost like someone is hanging on to us from a cliffside. And if we let go, we're going to fall. Meanwhile, our lower half is doing something totally different. It is facing the front of our mat and lengthening down towards the ground. Take another breath. Let's exhale. Release the hands behind your back. Interlace all 10 fingers. Inhale to lift the heart. Exhale to humble warrior. Bow forward to the inside of the left thigh. Fist reaches up to the ceiling, or maybe you allow gravity to stretch the shoulders a little deeper. Find something on the floor to look at. Press your feet down. Keep that bend in the front knee. Again, focus on something on the ground. Eye yoga. Press your feet down for stability. Keep the bend in the left knee. Take a deep breath. Exhale, gently release the hands to the mat, frame the left foot, and ease yourself into pyramid pose, lengthening the left leg by drawing the left hip back. Right hip draws forward to get both hips in one line. Deep, intense left leg stretch, focusing on breathing, feeling the stretch. Keep drawing the left hip back, easing the front or right hip forward, maybe even bowing over the left shin. Take another breath. Exhale, sigh it out of your mouth. Let's do that again. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out. Letting go what doesn't serve us. All right, let's walk our hands to the right. This time, facing the right side of our mat. However, this time, our toes are going to point out, heels point in. Let's bend the knees and stand up to goddess pose. All right, goddess pose. So feet are going to be a little bit wider on the mat. Again, toes out, heels in. And we're going to ease the tailbone down towards the ground. We want to open the knees to the pinky sides of our feet. So our knees aren't knocked in, they are tractioning to the back of our mat. Hips stack over, shoulders stack over hips, and tail points straight down. Press your feet down, sink your hips down, lift your heart. Let's take our hands to the top of our thighs. Inhale, lengthen the spine in both directions. Exhale, take your right shoulder forward. Look behind you, over your left shoulder. Hi, guys. Inhale, chest sits above the hips. Exhale, twist the other direction. Left shoulder forward. Look over your right shoulder. Find something on the wall to look at. Acknowledge it. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, twist. Right shoulder forward, left shoulder back. See if you can find something new on the wall to look at. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Final time. You know what to do. Inhale through center. Get nice and low. Hands frame that front left foot. Press your hands down. Come back to downward facing dog. All right. Fingertips spread nice and wide. Find your down dog. Lift your hips nice and high. And now we're going to adjust our down dog. So really squeeze with the fingertips. Keep those hands, wrists safe. And let's just scooch our feet up just like 4 to 6 inches or so, a more narrow down dog. And now let's step our feet nice and wide on the mat, the majority width of the mat. Very good. Inhale, press into your hands. As you exhale, release the right hand, reach the right fingertips towards your left ankle. It's okay if it doesn't touch. If it does touch, grip the left ankle, look under your left armpit towards the ceiling. Wherever we are, reaching for that ankle, aiming to get our eyesight to look under that left armpit. Maybe one day seeing the ceiling. Take a deep breath. Stay for the exhale. Very good. Good challenge your balance. Inhale, right hand settles back to your down dog. Take a moment, let that go. And when you're ready, press your hands down, grip the mat, and then release the left hand, reaching for the right ankle. Maybe we just reach the fingertips and that's where we go. And then we turn our eyesight, turn your head to eventually look under your right armpit towards the ceiling. Maybe we can grip the outside of the right ankle and bend our left elbow using that leverage to open up through the whole side, shoulder girdle, side of the rib cage. Take another deep breath here. Exhale, let the left hand find downward facing dog. Let your feet walk themselves back to your natural downward facing dog. Feet back a few more inches and a little bit closer together. Very good. Inhale, let's just draw our right knee straight into our belly. Shift your body weight forward. Very good. Now we're going to take our right knee towards the back of our right wrist and draw our right shin so it comes as close to parallel as possible to the back of our wrists. Mine is not, for reference, mine is not actually parallel, but that's the direction I'm aiming for. We're coming into pigeon. So we're going to settle our hips down, left leg long behind us, right shin out in front of us. If this is not in our practice today, option to come back to those figure 4 poses we did earlier in class. But the right shin is out in front of us. Take a look, turn and look at your left leg. Make sure it's straight out behind you. We don't want it kinked out to the side. And from here, as you inhale, press into your hands. Think about lengthening your spine. Think about easing your hips so that they are parallel to the front of the mat. And as you exhale, start to bow over your front shin. Maybe we come down to our forearms. Maybe not. Maybe not. That's okay. Maybe we start to walk our hands out. If we're on our forearms, take a nice wide stance. Keep your heart nice and broad so you can breathe easy. But find a place where we can settle into our pigeon pose. Very deep, very intense stretch in our right hip, thigh, groin, that whole right hip area. But we're going to take a few moments here. Give ourselves some time wherever we are. Maybe we can even stack palms on top of each other and rest our forehead down, or even just drape our whole body down on the ground. But we want to give our bodies time to open, time to release. Stay focused on the breath. Stay focused on the feeling in your body. Noticing how in pigeon pose, this is very much a psychological pose as it is a physical pose. And there's times in the beginning where our body's going, no, I don't want to do this. But if you just stay a few moments, there's this beautiful release. You can feel it where everything starts to let go. So let's, wherever we are, whatever version, let's keep finding those times where we can let go. Let go of any muscles holding on to tension. Search and rescue. Let's breathe into the areas of discomfort and see if we can let them go. Very good. All right, beautiful. If we're still in pigeon, let's press our hands down. We move from our palms. So get your palms on the ground. Start to lengthen your arms. Maybe give yourself a smile, and let's walk our hands back to a downward facing dog position. If we're in any sort of figure 4, just go ahead and switch sides. But from here, we tuck our back left toes, we press into our hands and left foot, and let's find our downward facing dog again. Let's gingerly put that right foot down, maybe walking out our feet, marching our feet a little bit, swaying our hips. Give your hips time. Don't rush it. And then when you're ready, inhale. Let's bring that draw that that left knee forward for pigeon opposite side. So left knee comes to the back of the left elbow. We take that left shin and aim to bring it parallel to our wrists, the front of the mat. Right leg goes straight back behind us. Turn and look. Actually make sure it's not kinked out to the right. It's in line with our right hip socket. And hips, both hips are parallel to the mat. We could even test it by walking our hands out to the side and making sure our hips are in one line, wherever we are. Let's inhale, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, begin to bow forward over that left hip, left shin. Maybe we start to walk our hands forward, and maybe we just stay here and we just really focus on that feeling in the hip. Maybe we can sink down to our elbows. Every time we find a new point, a new place to be in, readjust, lengthen the spine again, find the alignment. And then when you're ready, find your next position. And maybe we're just in position 1. Maybe we're in a different version of figure 4, but the process is still the same. We inhale to lengthen. We exhale to either stretch or strengthen. In this case, inhale to lengthen, exhale to stretch. Find quietness, find some stillness in the mind and body, however you need to take it, for about 30 seconds. Seeing if you can tap into these areas of tension in the body and in the mind, and ask them to let go. One more time, take a deep breath. Feel the sensations in your body. Notice what's going on in your mind, and say in your head or out loud, let go. So good. All right, let's get our palms back on the ground. Find your hands on the ground and let's press our palms into the ground or mat. From there, let's walk our hands all the way back up to sort of a seated position. Hands back to downward facing dog stance. Spread the fingertips wide, grip those fingers down, tuck the back toes. Inhale, press into the palms, lengthen the arms. Exhale, let's find down dog. Woo! All right, very good, you guys. Let those knees sink to the mat. Let everything sink to the mat. Come to the belly. For cobra pose, once again, hands by our shoulders. Let's even maybe walk our hips back behind us a little bit to lengthen the spine. Zip the thighs up, pelvis down, shoulders long down the back so our neck is long. And as you inhale, use your back muscles, lengthen the spine out of the hips, like we're just pulling the top of our head forward towards the baseboards. Now, as we inhale, really make sure that we're just lifting from the back. We can even hover our palms off the mat. Let's see if we can peel our heart away from the mat. Continually pressing our heart, spine forward, and then lifting up. Lengthening first, and then back bending. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to strengthen the entire spine. One more breath. Very good. Come all the way down. Palms stack on top of each other. Forehead comes down. Relax the entire body. Everything release. Deep inhale, finding any areas of tension. Exhale, let them all go. Yeah. All right. Wake up. Let's turn over, roll over onto our backs for bridge pose. Winding down. All right. Coming into the last back bend of class, let's keep our feet planted on the mat, knees point up. Heels about underneath our knees, feet parallel and about hip width together. Before we go on, really notice your spine. Feel it nice and long on the mat. And if you have this sort of a kink in your low back, see if we can just turn our pelvis a little bit, not to suck our low back to the mat. We don't want to overdo it, but just keep that low back nice and snug, gently activating our deeper core muscles. Keep your throat nice and open. Press your palms down into the mat. Take a deep inhale. Press into the arches of your feet. Lift up with a long spine, like a nice yet flexible piece of wood. Inhale, lift your hips nice and high. Exhale, lower down. Keep activation in the feet, fingertips pressing down. Inhale, press into the arches of the feet, press into your hands, lift your hips, long spine, and prepare to stay in bridge. Keep pressing the feet down. Keep thinking about lifting from the tops of the thighs, quadriceps lifting to the ceiling. Knees aren't knocking out, they're not knocking in. They are parallel, legs, femurs are parallel to each other, and the thighs are lifting up. Keep breathing here, maybe even starting to take the shoulder blades closer together and interlacing our fingers behind our back. Just an option. Breathing here, feeling the stretch in your shoulders, opening through the heart, gazing at the ceiling, staying present, staying focused on what your eyes are looking at. Take a final inhale, press those feet into the mat, spine is long. Exhale, lower all the way down, maybe even swaying those hips from left to right, making sure we have nice mobility, never rigidity. Very good. Take an inhale, grow your spine long, keep that low back nice and low to the mat. And as we exhale, let's take both knees into the belly. Wind removing pose. All right, go ahead and let's just take our hands to the tops of our shins, aiming to keep our head on the mat. Try to not lift it up. And if we can just start to ease those shins into the backs of the thighs while easing those thighs deeper into the low belly. Keep the shoulder blades down and tuck the chin to the chest, creating a double, triple, quadruple chin. If I can do it on the internet, we all can do it. And really think about your spine lengthening from the tail to the head. Oh yeah, improving the whole skeletal system while compressing the front side of the body. Good for the circulatory system, metabolism, musculoskeletal system. Keep your eyes open. Look down the center line of the body. Take another breath. Very good. Exhale, release the hands. Just the left foot drifts to the mat. Flex the right foot, point the right foot at the ceiling. So you have to lengthen the right leg a little bit for half happy baby. So with the right hand, we're going to reach up and either grab for the outside of the right shin or bend the right knee so we can grab the outside of the right foot. Very good. Keep that right foot flexed. Aim that right kneecap towards the right armpit and start to lengthen the back of your right thigh to draw that knee deeper into the armpit, almost like our right kneecap might lay down right next to our rib cage on the mat. Keep that right foot flexed. Keep drawing that right kneecap into the armpit. Keep looking down the center line of your body, deep back hamstring stretch. Keep breathing most of all. Stay present, stay in the room, noticing whatever comes up. A lot of things can come to the surface when we're opening up our hips. Pain, emotions, weird thoughts, spontaneous laughter, all sorts of things. Take one more breath and sigh it out of your mouth. Good. Very gently release that right foot. Let it sink all the way down before lifting up that left foot. Half happy baby. All right, flex that left foot, point it at the ceiling, reach that left hand up, either for the left shin or for the outside of the left foot. Bend the knee and direct it into the left armpit, like our left knee, top of the left thigh, might just lay down on the mat next to us. Keep lengthening the back of the thigh. Notice if this side feels any different than the other side. Which side might be more open, might have more sensations. We're not symmetrical. Ooh, and we tend to prefer sides. Just noticing what our body prefers. Keep lengthening the back of the left hamstring, easing that left kneecap towards the left armpit. One day, back of the left leg will be on the ground. Maybe we can even start to lengthen the left leg, just an option. Take another breath. Sigh it out of your mouth. Gently release that left leg. Both feet find the mat. Let's take our feet nice and wide on the mat and draw both knees to the right for windshield wipers, both knees to the left. Let's take another windshield wipers, right and left. And then gently settle into Shavasana. Two options here. If it feels better in your back, you can keep your feet on the mat, knees bent, called constructive rest pose, or you can lengthen your legs out. Find full version of dead body, corpse pose, Savasana. Wherever we are, really allow the backside of your body to just sink in on the mat. You can keep your hands, palms face up at your sides if that feels good. Maybe keep your eyes open. Or if it helps us stay present, we can take our hands, palms face down on our low belly. Relax the arms out to the side. If it helps us focus, keep your eyes open, looking at the ceiling. If it feels better, you can close the eyes. Everyone draw your attention to the space between your eyebrows and take a deep inhale. Exhale, feel your whole face relax. Take another deep inhale, feeling into all the different sensations of the face, muscles, teeth, jaw, tongue, cheeks, lips, eyeballs. And every time you exhale, relax the face a little more. Inhale, just noticing the sensations. And exhale, relax. Maybe even noticing if your lips settle into a tiny little smile. Continue breathing deeply. Let's just take a moment to acknowledge all the shoulder and hip opening we did today. Maybe noticing any residual feelings that we're feeling in these areas. And acknowledging that this part of our body can really showcase a lot of how we're feeling. We can tell if we're feeling very confident or maybe not as confident as we would like to be, if the world's kind of been heavy on us, or if, we're feeling like we're figuring it out. We can tell a lot based on how our shoulders are feeling, how they're acting. And same with our hips. Our hips really hold on to a lot of what's happened in our body. So just acknowledging, taking a moment to just really be with yourself. Whether it's super positive and you're like, thanks, self, I gotta hand it to you. enjoy that, or whether it's just a moment of really needing to comfort and nurture your inner child, talking to yourself like you would a small child. Taking just a few more moments to notice all these different sensations, how our body feels now versus how we felt when we first got on our mat. And with another deep inhale, we'll start to lengthen our limbs long again, maybe reaching our fingertips and toes nice and long. And let's go ahead and roll ourselves over onto our sides. Fetal position, letting our bodies come back online. Let's press ourselves up all the way to seated. And as efficiently as possible, finding your seated lotus. Legs heavy on the ground, neutral pelvis, long spine, head gently lifting up. And let's end class together by taking one very deep breath together, by exhaling out everything we have right now out of our mouth. Zip the lips, inhale through the nose. Deep, steady exhale through the nose. Let your breath return to normal. Namaste.